Hey, you want to go from an idea to having an idea done? Well, today I'm going to talk about the top 5 ways to go from idea to actually doing. Because we all have ideas, right? But the cool thing is we will celebrate prematurely in our minds. I got a cool idea. Someone validates the idea. Oh, it's a great idea, man. I go, yeah, it is a good idea. And you feel good. And you sit down and twiddle your thumbs. You don't make the song, you don't write the book, you don't create the podcast, you don't do anything, but you feel good about the thought of what it could be if it did get done. And so ideas, they feel great, but man, there's nothing in comparison to an idea that's realized. Meaning you can look at this thing that was an idea, you thought of what could take place, and that bad boy actually took place. That's a cool space to be in. And if you can understand the journey to getting there, right, the fastest way to get from point A to point B, you'll find that you can do it more often. So the ideas you get realized. And when the idea is realized, you get opened up to new possibilities, which is new ideas and more progression. That's the journey of every successful person you've ever known, or you wouldn't know them. Right? They created something. You saw it. It was made. And it all at the beginning was an idea that was built upon stage by stage by stage. And if you understand the stages, everything goes smooth. So the first step of this is getting clear on what you want. If you think about the idea that somebody has when they explain it to you, sometimes it's not 100% clear. You're like, I kind of get the idea, but I don't know what you're saying. And so if it's unclear, you can't make pointed progress. You can't make a plan properly. It's kind of like saying, I will know what my dream should be. I want to make more money. But if you aren't clear on how much more money, you'll have no idea what specifics you should be doing. You can't even craft a plan to more money. Want more money? I can give you a penny more. That's more money. It's not what you want, though. You want more, right? So it's kind of like, I'd say it like this. It's like going to a point of knowing the address, not just the area. If I say I want to go to a town somewhere, I want to go to this new town. Well, what's the address? I can't chart a map. I can't GPS the map to a random town and then show up in the place I want to be. And so you kind of have to think about it, kind of like a GPS, we'll call it. If I'm going to be clear on a place that I want to go, I've first got to be able to know what the specific address is, right? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How will I know I've arrived? When you can get clear on the moment you know you'll arrive, then you can start charting a proper plan to get there. So if you don't do this, it's going to be really hard to get an idea brought to life because, well, I don't even know where I'm going realistically, right? So the idea is, what does the end result look like? Step 2, create a solid plan. Like seriously, a plan of attack that comes in place from brainstorming and thinking, and then also on top of that, trying to mitigate, which means to minimize the roadblocks, right? So when I played professional football, this is how we always said, okay, we want to win this game, great. We have to go back and create what's called a game plan. Now, we may have a way we've done things in the past, but different teams bring different problems. Different players, maybe this team has a great quarterback, they got a great receiver, a great D lineman, great, DB, whatever it might be. The reality is, if we're going to win, right, we know what that line is. We know that the finish line means that we have had more positive plays, we've had more stops, and we have more points on the board, right? We know that's going to be our end result. Well, what's the plan to make that happen? We have to sit back and take a look and go, okay, we have this play we run. And in this play, this is how we want to run this play. What could possibly go wrong is if that guy gets open and he catches the ball like he does, let's double team that guy, right? Or they run this play on this down and distance based off statistics, right? Let's go ahead and cover that up, run this kind of defense. We'll make tweaks and adjustments so that we feel confident getting onto the field to move towards the destination we want. So you have, I'm not saying 100% you do this, but a lot of us have, but typically you run into this thing where you show up to life and your plan is aspirations, determination, willpower, grit. I got to make this happen. It's not a plan. It's an emotion. It's a feeling. And feelings are fleeting, which means that at some point in time, you're going to show up and not feel like doing it. And guess what? It doesn't get done. And so because of that, you can't stay disciplined, you can't stay in flow, you can't create momentum, you can't win and get to the place you want to get to. So you've got to create a plan because the most important part of discipline is the plan. Disciple to follow, plan to follow a plan. Have a plan. Then you can stay disciplined and make more progress. It's a big piece of it, which leads us to number 3. Let's say you got a good plan. You know where you're going. You've mitigated and thought through all the roadblocks and barriers. you'll probably find, realistically, there's some that you don't have perfect experience or clarity on. It's the nature of it, right? It's something where if I wanted to, say, build a business, and I did in the beginning of my business, I had a gym business back in 2008. I started my gym business. By 2009, I know what I was doing, man. I kind of knew what I wanted to do, end destination, but wasn't 100% clear. I didn't have a great plan in place. I just knew, like, I got to make money, got to sign clients up. And it brought me to point 3, which is seek outside professional counsel. I got to a point where one level, it was 9 months into the business. It had been open for a little bit. I'd hired some guys to help me, but I didn't know what I was doing. They didn't know what they were doing. And I realized, like, I'm going downhill. The guy rolls up in a Harley and hands me an envelope. And in this envelope from the landlord was an eviction notice. It said, pay this amount in 2 weeks or we're going to evict you. I didn't have the money. I had a quarter of the money that was supposed to pay. I hadn't paid rent in 3 months. And I had 2 weeks to come up with it. And our gym business wasn't even making not even a dent in any of this. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. In fact, I had $4,000 in my name. We owed $16,000. We were bringing in maybe before bills $4,000. So we didn't have any money to pay it. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm about to get evicted. But I was like, no, I gotta figure this out. I can't chalk this up. I can't go bankrupt because of this dumb decision. Let me find a way. And what I did uniquely is I realized I have no clear destination. I have no perfect plan to get this thing done. I need help. Like when I was in the NFL and in college, I always had a coach that guided me. And I go, I need a coach. I need someone that can, when I'm looking at what's in front of me, they can see the field, see where I should be standing and see who I should attack and what I should attack. So I hired this guy. It's a $6,000 coach. I only had $4,000. I told him, I said, look, if you don't in fact help me make this money, like you can't get paid the extra $2. I don't have it. Like you're gonna have to help me out and get this thing. He goes, okay, I got faith. And so we suited up and went to work. And 4 months later, I think we'd quadrupled the income. I bought a new car. We put some money aside to actually expand the business later on. And the only thing I changed was that I got a little bit of outside help and counsel in areas I didn't have answers for or have experience in. He helped me craft the destination I wanted to go to, helped me craft the plan of what I wanted to actually execute on to make things work, and helped me make it work. It's paramount that you seek outside counsel when you don't have the next step. Yes, it might poke your ego. Get over it. Get over it. Here's the thing. You get to protect your ego or achieve your goal. One of the two, right? And the reality is when you start looking at getting coached and help, the most successful people you know, they all have counsel, all have mentors. Your ego has no purpose being here. Chuck it to the side and go ask for some help, man. Which leads us to point number 4 is once you have the idea, plans in place, got a coach, make good daily to-do lists. Most people, they don't make good lists of what to execute on. They got a bunch of ideas, right? We talk about ideas. Here's all my ideas, but it's not an execution plan. It's not a to-do list. That just means I want to get this thing done. And sometimes we'll tell ourselves, tomorrow I'm going to work on that thing. It's like a 30-hour project and you got 2 hours tomorrow. How's it going to work out? Especially if you have no plan of what to execute on. Most people show up to the day and just go, I'm going to figure it out. And now you're working on nothing and you can't make progress. It's kind of like saying this. You want to get in shape, right? And so you go to the gym. You walk to the gym and you go, okay, I got to get in shape. And then you walk in and this moment hits that you might have experienced. You walk in and all of a sudden you're presented with this just open floor plan of countless machines. I'm talking endless possible workouts that can be done. You could do everything in the room, but here's the truth. You could do everything, but you can't do everything. Like that's the idea. You could do everything, but you can't really do everything. To figure out what's the right thing to do. And so you walk around and you kind of go, this is anxiety ridden. I don't know what to do. And so you may touch a weight here and use this machine here. And then you leave and you don't even know if you made any progress. And like, you don't know if you had the right weights. And then the thought of going back to the gym creates anxiety because of that same moment repeating itself. You can have a dream all you want, a vision all you want of what to do to get in shape, but if you have no actual plan, you struggle. But what if you walk into the gym and you had a trainer that guided the whole process? You had a sheet of paper that says, this is workout number 1, this is gonna have exercise 1, this many sets, this many reps, exercise 2, this set, this rep, exercise 3, and all the way down the line. So you could show up, turn your brain off for the most part, go to work. Get things done. Well, guess what? Over time, there's no anxiety with going to the gym. You go in, get the workout done quickly, right? You walk out of there, you feel accomplished on the next part of your day. Well, over time, you start losing weight, start building muscle, start having confidence. You have way less energy given. It's because you had a daily process in your life to get things done, or at least for the workout, a rep sheet of what to do. That's all you're missing sometimes, is that step by step, what am I doing so I plan ahead and don't show up with no idea what to do. Now, number 5, the last piece of this bad boy is you gotta constantly audit yourself. Constantly. You gotta look at yourself and be able to go, hey, you know what? I'm not that great in that area. I should probably improve. Now, a lot of people don't like doing this. A lot of people will tell me this. Oh, I'm not perfect, man. I need some things. I got to work on some things. Great. And then I point something out to work on, and they clam up. The ego wall goes up. They start to rebut and refute and justify. No. You need to audit yourself, find out what is not a great area or a strong suit so you can actually improve upon that thing. If you don't do this, it'll fall apart because you'll never know that something you're doing is hindering your progress. When I played football, go back to those days, man, I used to hate this, but every single day, every day you go into a dark room and it's a whole team and they get this, camera out and they've got this video film of you practicing. And they get a little red dot and they have a fast forward and reverse, and what they're doing is watching film. Every single day you would audit yourself. How fast you're moving, what you're reading, are you making the tackle, where are your feet, what's your proper technique? And it sucks when you're up on there getting chewed out for doing something wrong. Like, I'm feeling it right now, like that heavy, dark feeling of like, I'm about to get yelled at because I know I messed that play up. Like, I can't wait to get past that play to the next one. But in the beginning, it's hard. It is. You don't like seeing yourself not look good, but after a while, you start realizing that this is the way that I perform better. This is how I can actually get to the point of making plays and getting on the field and doing things. The auditing portion then doesn't become this thing where I just have disdain or I try to avoid it, but it in fact becomes something I try to do more often. Because the more you do it, the more you learn about where you can improve. So as you're going down that pathway, you're not lost, you're not struggling, you're just going, hey, this is an area of improvement, improve upon it, keep the ball moving. If you can do that, if you can apply these 5 concepts, you'll find that you get to go quicker from an idea to actually having something executed because you went through having a clear idea of what you want, having a plan that's put in place, getting some outside help when you don't know what to do, having a daily to-do list, and then from there, always auditing yourself. So those are your top 5 ways to go from idea to doing.